Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mufasa's book readings. My name is Julia, and your reader for today is Jacques. He'll be reading The Seventh Habits, which is the fourth part of the book, which is titled Renewal. The Seventh Habits is titled Sharpen the Soul. Enjoy.
Habit 7. Sharpen the Soul. Principles of Balanced Self-Renewal. A quote from Bruce Barton. Sometimes when I consider what tremendous consequences come from little things, I am tempted to think there are no little things. Suppose you were to come upon someone in the woods working feverishly to saw down a tree. What are you doing, you ask? Can't you see? Comes the impatient reply. I'm sawing down this tree. You look exhausted, you exclaim. How long have you been at it? Over 5 hours, he returns. And I'm beat. This is hard work. Well, why don't you take a break for a few minutes and sharpen that saw, you inquire. I'm sure it would go a lot faster. I don't have time to sharpen the saw, the man says emphatically. I'm too busy sawing. Habit 7 is taking time to sharpen the saw. It surrounds the other habits on the 7 habits paradigm because it is the habit that makes all the others possible. 4 dimensions of renewal. Habit 7 is personal PC. It's preserving and enhancing the greatest asset you have, you. It's renewing the 4 dimensions of your nature: physical, spiritual, mental, and social or emotional. Although different words are used, most philosophies of life deal either explicitly or implicitly with these 4 dimensions. Philosopher Herb Shepard describes the healthy, balanced life around 4 values: perspective, in other words, spiritual; autonomy, in other words, mental; connectedness, social; and tone, physical. George Sheehan, the running guru, describes 4 roles: being a good animal, a good craftsman, a good friend, and a saint, where a good animal is physical, a good craftsman is mental, a good friend is social, and a saint is spiritual. Sound motivation and organization theory embrace these 4 dimensions or motivations: the economic, which is the physical; how people are treated, which is the social; how people are developed and used, which is mental; and the service, the job, the contribution the organization gives, which is spiritual. Sharpen the saw basically means expressing all 4 motivations. It means exercising all 4 dimensions of our nature regularly and consistently in wise and balanced ways. To do this, we must be proactive. Taking time to sharpen the saw is a definite quadrant 2 activity, and quadrant 2 must be acted on. Quadrant 1, because of its urgency, acts on us. It presses upon us constantly. Personal POC must be pressed upon until it becomes second nature, until it becomes a kind of healthy addiction, because it's at its center of our circle of influence. No one else can do it for us. We must do it for ourselves. This is the single most powerful investment we can ever make in life: investment in ourselves, in the only instrument we have with which to deal with life and to contribute. We are the instruments of our own performance, and to be effective, we need to recognize the importance of taking time regularly to sharpen the saw in all 4 ways. The physical dimension. The physical dimension involves caring effectively for our physical body, eating the right kinds of foods, getting sufficient rest and relaxation, and exercising on a regular basis. Exercise is one of those quadrant 2 high leverage activities that most of us don't do consistently because it isn't urgent. And because we don't do it, sooner or later we find ourselves in quadrant 1, dealing with health problems and crises that come as a natural result of our neglect. Most of us think we don't have enough time to exercise. What a distorted paradigm. We don't have time not to. We're talking about 3 to 6 hours a week or a minimum of 30 minutes a day, every other day. That hardly seems an inordinate amount of time considering the tremendous benefits in terms of the impact on the other 162 to 165 hours of the week. And you don't need any special equipment to do it. If you want to go to a gym or a spa, to use the equipment or enjoy some skill sports such as tennis or racquetball, that's an added opportunity. But it isn't necessary to sharpen the saw. A good exercise program is one that you can do in your own home and one that will build your body in 3 areas: endurance, flexibility, and strength. Endurance comes from aerobic exercise, from cardiovascular efficiency, the ability of your heart to pump blood through your body. Although the heart is a muscle, it cannot be exercised directly. It can only be exercised through the large muscle groups, particularly the leg muscles. That's why exercises like rapid walking, running, biking, swimming, cross-country skiing, and jogging are so beneficial. You are considered minimally fit if you can increase your heart rate to at least 100 beats per minute and keep it at that level for 30 minutes. Ideally, you should try to raise your heart rate to at least 60% of your maximum pulse rate, the top speed your heart can beat and still pump blood through your body. Your maximum heart rate is generally accepted to be 220 less than your age. So if you are 40, you should aim for an exercise heart rate of 108. That's a good way of looking at this. And you get to 108 by it's 220 minus 40 is equal to 180 times 0.6, which gives you 108. The training effect is generally considered to be between 72 and 87% of your personal maximum rate. Flexibility comes through stretching. Most experts recommend warming up before and cooling down or stretching after aerobic exercise. Before, it helps loosen and warm the muscles to prepare for vigorous exercise. After, it helps to dissipate the lactic acid so that you don't feel sore and stiff. Strength comes from muscle resistance exercises, like simple calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups, and from working with weights. How much emphasis you put on developing strength depends on your situation. If you are involved in physical labor or athletic activities, increased strength will improve your skill. If you have a basically sedentary job and success in your lifestyle does not require a lot of strength, a little toning through calisthenics in addition to your aerobic and stretching exercises might be sufficient. I was in a gym one time with a friend of mine who has a PhD in exercise physiology. He was focusing on building strength. He asked me to spot him while he did some bench presses and told me at a certain point he'd ask me to take the weight. But don't take it until I tell you, he said firmly. So I watched and waited and prepared to take the weight. The weight went up and down and up and down, and I could see it begin to get harder. But he kept going. He would start to push it up, and I think there's no way he's going to make it. But he'd make it. Then he'd slowly bring it back down and start back up again. Up and down, up and down. Finally, as I looked at his face, straining with the effort, his blood vessels practically jumping out of his skin, I thought, this is going to fall and collapse his chest. Maybe I should take the weight. Maybe he's lost control and he doesn't even know what he's doing. But he'd get it safely down. Then he'd start back up again, and I couldn't believe it. When he finally told me to take the weight, I said, why did you wait so long? Almost all the benefit of exercise comes at the very end, Stephen, he replied. I'm trying to build strength. And that doesn't happen until the muscle fiber ruptures and the nerve fiber registers the pain. Then nature overcompensates, and within 48 hours, the fiber is made stronger. I could see his point. It's the same principle that works with emotional muscles as well, such as patience. When you exercise your patience beyond your past limits, the emotional fiber is broken. Nature overcompensates, and next time the fiber is stronger. And here ends our reading for today.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's reading. I think today's reading was really a reminder of the importance of just taking and nurturing yourself holistically. What stood out for me was just a line rather, that was read. It stated that we are the powerful investments that we can ever make in this lifetime. With that being said, we'd really like to engage with you in the comment section. So if you have anything you'd like to say, you can just put it in the comment section and we'll engage with you. Thank you so much for watching our videos. You can get this video on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.